Welcome everyone. Today we have a special video for patch 1.4. In this video, we'll have a look at a number of tips for patch 1.4 after maintenance and also a lot of mistakes to avoid. So I have listed those over here. We'll have a look at how to get the most value out of the dating event, including the best ways to get more daily commissions and to get more story keys for unlocking different characters. And also be aware of the traps with the new world feature which have a really long cooldown. And also what are the calculations to use the dust transmutation, the split rates of the banners, and also how to consider your soft pity and also your guarantee. Those worth a lot of money. Finally, we talk about co-oping with friends, the use of different gadgets and also check-ins, and also what are the things we should be aware of during the test runs for Venti, because we do get a lot of more energy than usual. We'll be going through a number of different builds, guides for different characters, for the materials, and also some of the final writings which some of us might not have picked up. So we need 2 story keys per character for the dating event. And also over here, some of the final writings which you'll be stuck on the world level if you decide to test this out for 24 hours. We'll also talk about some of the weapon banners, and also some of the free-to-play promo gems we can earn in patch 1.4. So coming over to a summary notes over here. I'm sure most of us are very excited for the 1.4 dating event. And if we come over to the official notes for this event, there are a few things we should be aware of. The first one is we have to unlock the Archon quest to a certain level to participate in this event. Afterwards, each of the high-end event will take 2 story keys. Now because it costs 2 keys for each of the characters, we should really pick wisely, depending on the characters you want to hang out first, and because we need 8 daily commissions for 1 key. This means we need 4 days to unlock one of the character hangout. And this also means we can potentially get a little more keys if we do the following correctly. So what we're trying to do is we try to get more value out of the hangout event. So we do not want to complete the daily commission before the patch is out. So once the patch is out, we should be unlocking the particular character hangout quest, then we claim the key which is already available, then we go and complete the daily commissions. This will leave us with 4 out of 8 on the first day, which will fasten our pace for the next hangout. So notice that we want to unlock one of the hangout, then we claim the keys first, then do the daily commissions. Now there are also a few other final details for this particular hangout event. As you have dialogue with the characters, you will have the heartbeat score. Depending on your choices, some of the characters might dislike your choices, and this might lead to them losing some of the hearts. But also depending on your ending with the characters, you may be unlock different storylines. And if you guys have a look at closely, using the quest progression map, we can actually skip and jump to the corresponding point. So once you have finished the dialogue before this, if you want to go for different dialogues after that, you don't have to do all the dialogues again. So make sure you're aware of this particular feature if you want to try all the dialogues with each of the characters. So this way, this saves a bit of time and allow us to find out what the character liked the most depending on the dialogues. Now if you happen to have failed one of the character hangout, it's okay because repeating the quest with the character does not cost any additional keys. So this is quite nice to prepare for the dating event. Now during the recording, something also came to mind. There will be 8 new patch 1.4 world quests in the particular patch, and this will bring us additional adventure experience and also loot. So if you're looking to get to adventure level 50 or adventure level 55 before doing your weekly boss or before doing your farms, it's a really good idea guys to have a look at those world quests. So if we come over to the patch notes over here, we can see that not only we get a lot of experience and also primal gems from the Archon quest, there will be 8 different new world quests. A total of 8 different world quests will become available in the course of the festival. I don't think all of those 8 quests will come right away, but as the quest comes up, make sure we do those to get additional adventure experience. And if you're on the threshold of 49, 54, or maybe 44, make sure you try to get over to the next level of the higher tier of job loots before we do the weekly boss or before we do the dungeons, because there will be additional morale, character experience, and also lots more. So hopefully we might get some primal gems as well. Now since we're talking about the new world quests in patch 1.4, there is also a list of different events. So in case you guys are wondering, I have listed those with no particular order. So I'm not sure if this is the way they're coming out, but we can see the ultimate boss, we can see the battle arena with a colossal battle arena with the helitrons, there will be puzzles and also maze games. There will also be elite boss modifiers during the live stream. And of course there will be gliding, shooting challenge and also musical tabs. So there's at least 8 different events in patch 1.4, which I'm super excited about, so can't wait to try those. And there are some events which allow us to play co-op, there are some events which allow us to use a solo character, so quite interested on this one as well. Now coming over to the official patch notes for patch 1.4. if we scroll down closely over here, what you're going to see is, for the particular new feature of adjusting world level, be aware of this, guys. If you want to be testing your world adjustments, be aware that you'll be locked into a lower difficulty for 24 hours, and you cannot adjust this one back. And this will affect the experience you earn, this will affect the monsters you kill, and also the loot. So if you're thinking of testing out the new features, make sure you understand you'll be locked for 24 hours. So only do this if you really want a lower level difficulty. Now with the new Venti banner and also the weapon banner, likely you might be getting some new characters. So over here we have two lovely guides from Davataki. So if you're preparing for Rosaria, those are the items for Rosaria. And if you're preparing for any of the existing characters, you can find them over here. There's also a small summary of what resource do you need to take the character to a certain level, from level 1 to level 80 or to level 90. So definitely check this out if you're planning to build new characters for the new patch. Now on the topic of building new characters, some of us are aware there is a new item called the Dust of Transmutation. What this allows us to do is we can convert different grade of particular essential items into a different particular element. So if I'm going for my pyro ones, I can convert this into the other ones if I have them already. Now because we're given 200 of those during the event, we still have plenty to go around. But at the same time, I want to make a calculation in case you guys planning of using those particular dust. How much do those dust actually worth, and what should we think of this dust? So if we come over to the Paimon shop with the Star Dust Exchange, we can see that for 5 of the Star Dust, we can get 1 of the Dust of Azeroth, which is the Dust of Transmutation. So using some quick calculations over here, for 27 dust is needed for each of the gemstones, which equal to 135 of the Star Dust. Now keep in mind, guys, we can also use the Stardust to purchase some of the Fate each of the month. Although we can only purchase 10 of those every month, this will cost about 750. So what this means is, for 27 of the dust cost, this equal to 1.8 wishes, or 288 primal gems. So if you're planning to use your Dust of Transmutation, make sure you know the value of the dust, and compare this value with your Fetcher Risen or maybe with your Risens. Because we're using the dust to save Risens, sometimes you might want to keep the dust for later. Sometimes you might want to use the dust now. Now keep in mind, because we can only purchase 10 of those fates every month, if you happen to have a lot of the Stardust, you can still purchase the dust over here, because this is the comparison of the value, but there are limited number of the fates we can purchase. And this is when the calculations over here becomes less useful, because there's a limited number of fates we can purchase every month. But it's really good to know what are the value of the dust as we transmute each of the gemstones into a different element. Our next 2 tips will be talking about the weapon and also the character balance. For the weapon balance, guys, if you haven't seen our previous video, on this video we talk about the potential for the weapon balance to have a different split rate. What I mean by that is, for example, for this weapons banner with the Staff of Homer and also Wolf's Gravestone, there may be a different rate split between the 2 rate up weapons, and there may be a higher chance for the Wolf's Gravestone over the Staff of Homer. In one of the previous videos, I was getting 5 of the Wolf's Gravestone over 0 of the Staff of Homer. So I was really fascinated by the rates, and in this video we talk about why it's likely going to be 1:3 ratio. So you might be 2 times or 3 times more likely to get the Skyward Blade over the particular new bow, the edgy for the end. And this is quite concerning, so make sure you know that the potential traps and the rates for the weapons banner before you go to the weapons banner. Because although you just want a particular new bow, this may take a lot of wishes, and this can be a big trap. Now currently, for the new weapons banner, we're not sure if the split is 1:1, 1:2, or 1:3. So I would recommend for those of us who are saving for the weapons or want to try the weapons, wait for the streamers or the YouTubers to summon on those particular weapon banners, and have a look at their summoning result. If it's a 1:1, this will be really good. If it's 1:2, you should be careful. If it's 1:3, that means it's really difficult in getting the bow you wanted. So be aware of this, guys, because the split rate with 5 stars may be a little different. So for more details, definitely come over to this video. So, weapon banners are traps, and we're going to talk about this in a live stream after the patch. Now coming over to the characters banner. What I want to warn you guys is for the soft pity you might have or the 100% guarantee for the limited character. I know some of us are saving for Venti and some of us are looking for the free-to-play primal gems. So we did a calculation in this particular video. We're estimating we can get about 77 free-to-play wishes in patch 1.4. And even knowing this, you should be careful, because each of the banners only lasts for 20 days, and you might not have time to get the characters you wanted. So 77 take us into the soft pity. Now if you're planning to wish with your soft pity or the 100% guarantee, be aware of the value of your currency. So this is quite an important concept for us to understand. For most of the free-to-play players or the low-spending players, it's quite important to understand the resource of having the soft pity or having the guarantee. So the soft pity history for the 5-star character is worth about $150 and similarly the 100% guarantee is worth about $100. So be aware of the value of your currencies, and what that means is if in the future you plan to purchase, you will have to spend this much to get something of value which you currently have. So this is to get us to think about the summonings and rolling before we just try a few and waste the soft pity or waste the guarantee. Now while we're on the topic of going for weapon spammer or the character spammer, it is very important, guys, before you start your wish, consider the best, the most lucky situation and the worst luck situation we can have with wishing. What that means is, if you consider if I get lucky in 10 rolls I get the characters I wanted, or what if I spend all my resources, all my gems, all my fates and I don't get the character I wanted, what would I do? Ask yourself the question before you start wishing, because this will allow us to avoid impulse spending after getting unlucky. We're okay with getting lucky. If we get lucky with a weapon or getting lucky with Venti or the characters we wanted, we're okay with that. But are we okay with a situation that we don't get lucky? Because if that is the case, if you're not prepared mentally, you may be going to the solution of spending more money. And impulse spending can be very expensive. So make sure you're aware of this, guys. Ask yourself, if I'm okay with spending all the resources and not getting anything, if I'm okay, then I'm going to roll for my characters. If I'm not okay, I'm going to wait a little bit and then consider my options. Now we know that some of the minigames and also the ultimate boss will have a co-op feature. If you guys are planning to play those minigames, make sure you consider having some friends to join you for the 2 to 4 co-op potential. So this can create more variety with the games, and also this can make the ultimate boss a little easier. So if you have trouble with a boss, or if you want someone to play the minigames with, maybe considering finding a few friends and also playing together for those co-op missions. We do have a Discord available. If you guys are looking for friends, make sure you check the links in the description below to join our Discord and also to look for some friends for the minigames and also for the boss event. Now our next tip is quite common. I'm sure some of you are pretty on top of this, but for me, the parametric transformer and also the daily miHoYo check-ins are the worst. I always forget about them. So if you come into the game, this particular item works every 7 days. It's got a cooldown, it doesn't have a reminder. This gives you about 30 or 40 reason of value every 30 days. So if you haven't seen our previous video on this one, we do have a video on the best loots for the parametric transformer, but I always forget about this. So make sure, guys, this is the reminder to use this gadget. And also, if you guys haven't done the miHoYo check-ins, make sure you do those. They don't give the best rewards, but we do get 20 promo gems after 7 days. So, you know, it's something. I'll just take it. And as you can see over here, I have gotten my latest 20 promo gems from the check-in event. So, you know, it's free promo gems, and make sure you remind yourself of this one, because I keep forgetting about this one as well. Now coming over to our last tip. Make sure, guys, if you're planning to get Venti, and if you haven't tried him before, make sure you try him out before summoning for him. Because a lot of us are very excited for Venti, and some of those friends that joined the game after the Venti patch, you really want to try Venti. Because it is very important for us to get a feel of Venti. He doesn't do the most damage. He's really good in controlling, he's really versatile in pressing and holding his E-spell. But sometimes you might not like him, so make sure you try him out before summoning for him. And similarly, it was revealed in patch 1.3 that any character that is tried in the test trials will get abnormal amount of energy gain during the test runs. What that means is, you can cast your spells more frequently, but this is not the case in the real world for exploration and also for fighting. So make sure you know the difference during the test runs. And best of luck to everyone who's going for Venti or going for the weapons banner. Now before we finish the video, keep in mind, guys, I always say this before the patch, it is very important to set a budget. If you're planning to spend in the game, or if you don't plan to spend in the game, tell yourself before the update comes live. Because it will be hype for the update, people will be posting fun videos, people will showing off how lucky they are, you know, 1 roll for Venti or 1 roll for the weapon. There's a lot of those, you know, happy little posts out there. Make sure you set a budget and don't get too caught up in all the videos, all the posts, all the hype. Because in the end of the day, we all have a different financial situations and want to be aware of this. And it's not easy during the excitement to set a budget. So make sure we set a budget before we're going for the wishes or before we're going for the summons. Now also before we finish, you might be wondering, did I say I'll be seeing the doctor? I did, and it's a few hours before I see the doctor, and I got really excited, so I decided to make it as a video first to prepare for patch 1.4. I haven't seen the doctor yet for my endoscope. We talked about this in the last video as well. So what I'm thinking is, I'll post the video on a schedule, so if I don't come back for the live stream, something bad happened to me. Hopefully that's okay. So I called up the hospital to see what happens, to just a little bit on the side. The hospital replied that likely the whole operation will take about 2 hours, and I should be able to make it back in time for the new patch of patch 1.4. And I'm planning to live stream patch 1.4 a bit after my whole examination. So fingers crossed everything will be okay, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips, and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.